Embryology and ovarian tumors. Understanding embryology can help in a better understanding of ovarian tumors. So, this is an embryo, and suppose we take a cross section like this, and what we get is something like this. This is the posterior part, so we will have a neural tube here, and this is the coelom, so this will be the coelomic epithelium. So this is the posterior part. Here we have the neural tube. This is the coelom, so this is the coelomic epithelium. The orange dots are the germ cells that have migrated from the yolk sac and reached into this area, which is called the genital ridge. The genital ridge is that part of the embryo which later forms into testis or ovary, depending on if it is a male or a female. In early embryogenesis, the gonads are undifferentiated, that is, it can either develop into a male or a female depending on if it is XY, that is the Y chromosome. If it has an Y chromosome, the Y chromosome has the SRY gene, the product of which will determine that it will grow into a male fetus, and the absence of which will make it develop into a female. So this is the genital ridge, and we have magnified here the same thing. This is conceptually the same genital ridge that we are seeing here, and this is the coelomic epithelium. This is coelomic epithelium, and this coelom, this has a medulla and the cortex. This is the mesenchyme. This is the mesenchyme of the genital ridge, the coelomic epithelium, and we can divide it into a medulla and a cortex just for the sake of understanding at this point. And this coelomic epithelium will grow into the mesenchyme of the genital ridge as codes, and this is what we call the sex codes, and this is the origin of the sex code tumors. And this is the mesenchyme or the stroma or the mesenchyme of the genital ridge, and that is where the stromal tumors come. So the sex code stromal tumors of the ovary comes from the derivatives of the sex code and the stroma, so the sex code stromal tumors. And what happens is, this is an undifferentiated gonad, so it can either become, this is a male and this is a female, it can either become a male or a female. If it becomes a male, the cortical part of the sex cords will degenerate, and ultimately here we'll have tonica albuginea, etc. And anyway, the cortical part of the Sertoli, the sex cord, sex cords will degenerate, and the medullary portion of the sex cords will organize into and develop into what we know as the seminiferous tubules ultimately. And inside the seminiferous tubules we have this orange, what we call the germ cells, which have migrated from the yolk sac and reached the genital ridge. So inside the seminiferous tubules we'll have the germ cells as well as Sertoli cells. The green is the Sertoli and the orange is germ cells. So this has organized into a tubules, and this is what is called the seminiferous tubules, and inside which we have the germ cells as well as the Sertoli cells. The Sertoli cells develop from the sex codes, and germ cells has come from the yolk sac. And this is the mesenchyme. In the mesenchyme we have the Leydig cells. So the Leydig cell is derivative of mesenchymal part or the stromal part of the genital ridge, and Sertoli is from the sex codes. So this is what a male is. And in case means testis, primordial testis looks like, and the tumors can develop because the development of male and female gonads have a common source or a common beginning. Both sexes can have similar tumors even in adult stage. The genesis can be same, like we can have a sex code or we can have the Sertoli lady cell tumors in females also, even though in a mature ovary the Sertoli cells are not seen. Okay, so this is what a male development is. And suppose this is the ovary. What happens is the medullary part of the sex codes will degenerate and the cortical part remains. Even though the cortical part of the sex cord remains, it will disorganize and form circularly and arrange circularly around this orange thing. The orange is what is oogonia. That is, oogonia is derived from germ cells from the yolk sac. The germ cells from the yolk sac has reached here, as we told, genital ridge. So in the genital ridge, in the cortical part, it will arrange a single oogonia around which the remnants of the previous sex codes in the cortical area will form or encircle the oogonia, and this is called the follicular cells or the granulosa cells. From this granulosa cells we get the granulosa cell tumor, and near the granulosa cells we'll have here theca cells, again derivative of the sex codes. From theca cells we'll have thecoma, etc. And this mesenchyme is what forms the fibrous layer of the ovary, or which gives a fibrous look to the ovary, and from that we get the fibroma, the tumor fibroma. So this is the coelomic epithelium from which develops the epithelial tumors of the ovary. From the sex cords and stroma develop the sex cord stromal tumors of the ovary, and from the germ cells will develop the germ cell tumors of the ovary. Now this is a mature ovary, and we can see this again shows the surface epithelium from which develops the serous tumors, mucinous tumors, endometrioid tumors, clear cell tumors, and transitional cell tumors. And from the sex cord and the stroma develop what we have: the granulosa cell tumor. This is the granulosa part. The thecoma, the theca cells will be here. Then the fibroma, again the interstitial or the mesenchymal part of the genital ridge. Then then Sertoli cell and Sertoli Leydig cell tumors. Then from the germ cells we get dysgerminoma, yolk sac tumor, embryonal carcinoma, choriocarcinoma, and teratoma. So this is just to make the understanding easier. Hope it is useful. Thank you.